Today's matchup. Maru. Classic. GuMiho. Zoun. Round of 20. Group C. 2022 Hot 6 GSL Season 3.
We're back, everybody, and it's time to go into this second best of 3. Should be a longer one. It is hard to get a best of 3 shorter than what we just casted.
Yeah, that was a speed run, man. You said it perfectly.
That was fast, dude. I do worry for Classic here. I think you and I were both pretty confident that Classic would have a pretty strong performance. Even if you lose, you can still have a strong performance. I am totally pulling back. I'm walking that one back right now.
It looked shaky.
It looked shaky. It didn't even look like it was modern. You know, that's a lot of times what we're kind of watching for with some of these players is, all right, are you able to really you know, approach the game with the new ideas? That was an old way of playing, and it was beaten down from a very, I think, well-versed Terran perspective. Yeah,
it was antiquated. I don't think we're going to see anything like that here from Zoun in this best of 3.
I don't think so. I think, well, Zoun, I think, is much more up-to-date, by the way, with the meta, with everything. Now, GuMiho, he's always an interesting player because he doesn't really play like anybody else at all. Especially when he, you know, became a champion here. He really approached the game in weird ways. He's mech'd a lot, but even when he goes for factory units instead of bio units, he'll like make a lot of cyclones. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but he basically uses a lot of different ideas, and I think players like GuMiho are always very valuable because these are guys that really do see the game in a different way and oftentimes are able to shift entire metas because of their approach. But he's going up against Zoun, who is, even though he's been here for years now, a rookie compared to these other guys who've been here for over a decade. Zoun's pretty scary, though.
Yeah, Zoun is one of those players that is really smart, is really adaptive, is one of those guys that I'm certain went back and watched all of Heroes games from the previous season and learned from them and changed his play based on that. And he's a really solid macro player when he goes for it, man. Every season we see him, he's getting better, it feels like. All right, guys, set number 1, Moon Dance, GuMiho versus Zoun. Let's get to it.
Let's do our Moon Dance. Let's go.
Storm Gaming, GuMiho. Alpha X, Zoun.
Zoun with a crazy fast scout here, actually spotting the gas first from Maru.
Yeah, let's see what he wants to do. You know, a lot of times when you see quick scouts like this, he doesn't see the barracks. Oh, wow. So this...
you gotta check your corner, Zoun!
Wait, no, he's gonna go back in?
He thinks that there's a proxy, is what he thinks.
This barracks is far enough over to the side. I'm always amazed how often this happens in StarCraft 2.
Check.
Just check his main, dude.
You were blocking the barracks at the ramp. Oh, come on. Oh, this hurts. I'm just watching the mini-map, and that's a probe that's not mining right now, and that's like 40 or 50 minerals a minute. That's just like down the drain from that guy not being on minerals.
I mean, this is
he still doesn't know.
This is wild, man. I mean, the fact that he still doesn't know, so he's essentially reacting. Oh, does he see the SCV? I don't think he even saw that SCV come back.
I'm not sure if he did, but yeah, it's sad because you go for a really fast scout like this and you expect to get intel that's going to help you win the game.
And instead it's the exact opposite.
Instead it's the opposite. Now he's like in his own head thinking like he's like seeing like ghosts like in the shadows that aren't there and stuff like that. When actually, no, the barracks is... GuMiho's got his barracks there in the main base. There's no proxy on the map. I mean, he's still looking for it. And I wonder if he's going to have the Zealot finish. He might, honestly. So if he thinks this is a proxy, yeah, that Zealot, I'm pretty sure, is done. Oh, GuMiho, never change.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, it was a very weird opening. I do put a little bit of blame on the Protoss here, just because like you can at least go and check inside of their base.
Oh,
to
for
do this.
sure. He
I mean,
100% should have seen that.
Yeah, but the weird thing is this worked out, and like GuMiho is now just in such a good position here. Now, what do you think about the floating of this down here? I guess he wants to make Hellions.
Yeah, it's going to be
the outside.
Hellions.
So I wasn't expecting this, but again, GuMiho does have a very strange way of approaching the game. And when I say strange, I don't mean bad.
No, it's unique.
He just doesn't play like anybody else. A lot of times I try when casting him to like really not predict what's going to happen, because I will just be so wrong.
You know, it's kind of weird, but Zoun getting in his own head there. Zoun, I got him.
Zoun?
Zoun, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I heard the GSL announcer say it, so now I'm saying
Oh,
it that
I know.
way. But yeah, Zoun, he made the Zealot and then a Stalker, and he's playing very defensive. Like, he has a battery a lot faster than you would normally get a battery, because he didn't see the barracks in the main base. But GuMiho now is like going for this like Hellion run by, which is a lot more aggressive than Terrans would usually be.
Yeah.
So Zoun might actually, at the end of the day, end up getting some value out of this. For all the wrong reasons.
Oh, yeah.
But it's certainly possible if he gets the wall off. And we're actually going to be seeing Cloak Banshees coming out from GuMiho as well. And these Hellions, they're going to hit pretty quick. They're going to hit a couple seconds faster because they were there on that low ground. And there's no full wall off, no sentry.
Yeah, this is going to be... There's not going to ever have been an attack quite like this that we've casted here.
One Phoenix will help a little bit, and GuMiho actually backing off, so he doesn't really want to contest with this just yet.
Well, he's going to get a Banshee with Cloak. Now, keep in mind that Protoss was poking around outside the natural, so he is not going to see these Hellions coming. He's assuming that they're basically, whatever's happening is staying inside his base. He does scout with the Phoenix and sees that...
he saw the reactor.
Well, not only that, but it appears to be vacant in the main, right? Like something's going on.
Oh, that Reaper got caught.
Yeah, so this is how it ends.
All right. Hellions and the Banshee coming in now. Oh, he's
going to go for Glaives?
Oh, that's interesting,
That's funny.
huh?
I wasn't expecting that. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
That's not bad either.
Cloak is done now. I don't think Zoun actually has any detection on the map, if I'm not mistaken. And that could be very bad. No Oracle in production either. Did he not notice the Banshee firing just yet? There's no Oracle, right? I'm not missing something here?
I don't see an Oracle. I think you're correct.
Oh, no. And he's going for like big Glaives time. This is just disastrous right now. That's 13 probes down.
Yeah, that's so many kills. Oh, how funny. He's going to unpower this pylon here, too.
It's just the gateway. You know? Imagine if he got the Oracle one.
Yeah, he's gonna run out of energy here. Look, a pylon is not a bad kill.
No, it's not.
And then the other Banshee's back. That's his twin brother.
All right, well, everything's falling apart right now for Zoun. Down to 30 probes. He will eventually clean up these Banshees, and at this point, you feel like he has to really get something done with this Adept timing. Well, if he's going to come back in this, but
was the Adept timing ever a wise idea on a base where you get a free third in the back? Well, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even consider that.
Granted, you know, Terran hasn't walled off the entrance, so I mean, you know, the front door is kind of open. In fact, he's made a wall everywhere to except to protect his tanks.
I feel like if he hadn't lost so many probes, this might have potential. Because he has the Phoenixes to lift the siege tanks. He could have potentially way more depth than this if he hadn't gotten stunted at home so hard by the Hellions and the Banshees.
Yeah.
Even then, it would have been kind of a dice roll, but as things are right now, I'm not liking his odds. We'll see, though. It's a lot of Adepts rolling in. SCV's being pulled now. Siege tanks get lifted. Marines on the high ground focusing down the Adepts. SCV's pulled as well. Now, keep in mind, GuMiho, he can lose a lot of SCVs and not care. And actually, a really nice stasis ward, but like,
well, you'd think so.
There's
except
not
that
enough units.
This somehow, yeah, it just like protects the SCVs, so then the Marines can kill everything off.
It's another problem with doing this is like, generally the Terran player, if they have to pull SCVs like that, losing 11 SCVs here, I mean, you would take that as a win as Protoss, right? But not after you take so much probe damage there in the early game.
Right, right. It's not an efficient way to trade. In fact, you know, he's still down in workers even now.
He needs way more than that to equalize. And I'm liking the positioning, I'm liking the Phoenix play, but there's just too much Terran, man.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how Zoun can even play this out from here. This is almost a game he should probably put to bed, you know? It started out weird. I don't like the ideas from Zoun, really.
He's continuing to try and make this work, and he is slowly whittling away at the worker count here for GuMiho. GuMiho now down to 38, and we'll see.
All Terran has to do is wall off their entrance. This ends, by the way.
Actually,
I know we saw this
that's
earlier.
Actually very true.
It is a little bit painful to watch, where I'm like, you know, those depots can be made. You made everywhere else. You could make them over at your entrance and just lift that off, and the shades can't get through.
Zoun's trying his best here, but that's a lot of sim bio now with medevacs out, and if there's one thing that adepts do not like, it's...
You know, if this goes on, I think actually Zoun might be able to just win. Well, maybe not. I thought he was going to kill that
bio ball
tank.
is just getting out of control. These adepts, they just keep getting in the main base, man. Like.
Yeah, but you can see they're getting thinned out.
Right.
Eventually, he's not going to be able to trade for workers. It is 29 workers to 37. But 3 base to 2, and the 3 basers, the Terran with mules that can land, with 3 command centers, obviously, but can make SCVs out of all those.
And Zoun might have equalized the worker counts there, but this is not his game by any means. His tech is he's in the caveman era basically. Like, this is not an army that you want to work with. 10 speed adepts and not a lot much else. 2 Phoenixes on the map. GuMiho's going to come in, unpower this pylon. These adepts might get some more SCV damage here at the 3rd base of GuMiho, but I feel like eventually we're just going to see GuMiho run in here and just kill him.
Yeah.
For example, even when this battery runs out of its overcharge, like, I don't know if he can really deal with that, but you know, to his credit, he keeps finding damage here. I'm surprised that GuMiho hasn't walled off his entrance.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually crazy to me because, again, a wall off, I mean, that is the obvious answer, right?
Yeah, and look at the army supply. It's 65 to 24. GuMiho, if he identifies this, he can just walk around the map and kill him, and he might be doing that right now with his bio.
I think the counterattack's going to come in here regardless.
Kind of a wonky
That's it.
game.
GG. Okay, weird game.
Really weird game.
Weird game. I don't know.
Like, Zoun's just like dead, but he keeps like finding all this damage in GuMiho's base, and GuMiho's not killing him. And it's like, well, we're just kind of in this awkward state where GuMiho's won the game, but Zoun is getting damage in somehow.
Yeah, it's funny. It was like the end of Terminator 1 where the robot's chasing Sarah Connor, and it's like it's getting crushed inside the machine. It's just like an arm trying to grab her neck and stuff. That was basically Zoun there. You know, GuMiho eventually stopped it. He got ahead. Not the cleanest win, though. I did like the cool ideas at the start. I think the game started out so weird that both the players were a little bit out of their element.
It was strange, but that's kind of what GuMiho does in a lot of his TVPs. Like, this is he's a wild card. This is a guy that I believe that he qualified for GSL like way back in the day, 12 years ago, playing random, right?
That's right. I think the only guy that ever did that.
And you kind of see that randomness in his Terran play.
He's got that kind of approach where it's like, oh, he's just really good at RTS. He can kind of figure it out. You know, he's not a guy who has to have things mapped out. He can intuit, I would say, very well. Data C has loaded up, guys. GuMiho versus Zoun continues on. Our Terran players so far with a 1-0 lead.
I can do this all day. Believe me when you hear me say I can do this all day. There's nothing that I cannot see.
Psystorm Gaming, GuMiho. Alpha X, Zoun.
What are you doing, Zoun?
Yeah. Is he being the sneaky snake down there?
Very sneaky.
So, maybe another gateway down there.
Would think so, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't have a core started yet, and so this could be a great way. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming down.
Second gateway going down. We'll see a cyber core once that's done.
So this is basically a little tactic you could set up to beat up the Terran if they get a little bit too cavalier about expanding.
Could also get a lot of damage done at the ramp if GuMiho is caught unawares and techs up rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times we think of wall-ins as they make you safe, but there's certain type of rushes that are you know, engineered to basically attack all the important stuff that is walling you in, you know.
Especially for Terran with their depots there in the front.
Yeah, the reactor or tech lab or whatever is going to be made there too.
Low ground CC. Now this is the best case scenario for Zoun. No SCV scout, low ground CC, 2 gateway, 1 proxy. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, this is the dream right now for the Protoss. And I'll tell you what, man, Zoun needs a game like this, right?
He really does.
Because, you know, he's got a solid opener to punish a Terran who's going to be a little bit dismissive of the kind of things Protoss can do early on.
And still no SCV scout for GuMiho, so he really has no idea this is coming. There is a bunker going, so not completely cavalier, as you said.
Yeah.
He's trying to play this a little bit safe, but with only 1 Marine and a reactor, this could be scary. Let's see how much Zoun decides to commit to this. All right, Marine in the bunker now. Zealot and Stalker going to rendezvous in the middle. 1 more Adept. And actually, Hellions underway. Okay.
Yeah, Hellions are coming. I want to see exactly when he wants to attack here. So you can run up here and basically not have to engage with the bunker. And so this abuses the distance that is there.
Yeah, this could be problematic, especially with the second Stalker here as well.
Yeah, well, and the Adept too. I mean, there's a point where, oh, kind of a misclick there.
A little bit of a misclick, but that reactor is going down. There's no way you can defend that. And the Stalkers provide the range to kind of shield these other units from the Hellions. You can see the SCVs scrambling to try and repair them and keep them up.
You know, honestly, this isn't going as smoothly as I kind of thought it was. He has not killed the reactor yet. And, you know, the Adept is almost, yeah, the Adept's gone.
Wow.
So the reactor's actually not going to die. And I don't know that he can get out that easily with those Stalkers either. It looks like he might have to try because, you know, the longer he waits, the worse it's going to be.
I think he'll be able to get out, but so close. It's always funny watching Hellions try to kill units.
There's something that I actually don't like about the way it looks. Like, it looks wrong. It's not a cool animation. It's got to, like, stop, and then it's got to shoot, and then, like, the stuff kind of moves out of the way.
The only reason it didn't kill the reactor, though, was because GuMiho was so adamant about actually pulling SCVs to mass repair everything.
Yeah.
So although he didn't really get, like,
I think we saw some misclicks, though, there, too, from Zoun. There were these moments where it seemed like they were firing on the depot, which, I mean, there's no rationale for that.
But at the same time, 6 SCVs, that's a pretty good pickoff right there. Plus, you got a full scout off. You know what the tech setup there is for GuMiho, and actually, he might even catch this.
Ooh,
oh,
big interception.
That's a huge interception.
All right, well, this is a funny mini game that goes on here where he has to try to figure out if he can either get back home or get once more back into the main.
And behind this, Zoun actually taking the 3rd Nexus, so I'm quite liking this reaction that we're seeing from Zoun after scouting the reactored Hellions and the fast tech up from GuMiho, because went for the Phoenixes, was able to intercept the Widow Mines in the middle of the map. You recognize that as a probable follow-up to the build there by GuMiho, and he knows that he has kind of the breathing room right now to really get that fast 3rd Nexus up. And a lot of the games that we've seen, pretty much every game that we've seen so far where Protoss has gone for Phoenixes, they've kind of been caught in this awkward position where, like, they need to kind of prepare for an early push from Terran if it comes, but then it doesn't come, and because they stunted their own growth, kind of playing a little bit safe, a later push comes and just kills them.
Yeah.
This time Zoun, he's quickly getting that 3rd Nexus up. Now he's getting into charge. Now he's adding his gateways. He's doing this all very safely, but he might have a little bit more of a tempo advantage that we've seen compared to the 3 previous Protoss games that actually allows him to play the mid game a little bit. Because
again, I think you know, that rush could have gone better, but I agree with you. I don't think he's in a terrible spot. Classic, I've got more questions than answers, you know, as far as he goes right now.
Yeah, that was
because he just did not look to be very comfortable in the matchup. You know,
it feels odd to go back to that series as we're casting this one, but yeah, it was really odd seeing him go back to Phoenixes in game 2 and kind of just get, you know, steamrolled in the same manner. I mean, not exactly the same. The Army was a little bit more technical there by Maru, but
similar, right?
The idea of just like one push overpowering a Phoenix Protoss is.
And so now, you know, Terran should have some opportunities for a push here. I didn't see a 3rd CC started, right?
I don't think he has one underway.
So that should tell us everything we need to know. He may come out with a push when it's time and then quietly take a CC behind that when he has what he thinks is all the right units. But we got to see, you know, how prepped is Zoun going to be when it comes to defending. Because we're in a much better game for him right now.
I think he should have a better chance, but again, this is a really difficult push to stop as a Phoenix Protoss. Anything that comes with a lot of bio like this, with not a lot of technical units that you can lift, like siege tanks, is very tough to deal with. Now, I don't even think we have any splash damage for Zoun, so it's going to be just a pure Gateway Stargate army trying to stop a 2-base bio push, and I don't think we have any SCVs pulled here by GuMiho, but I'm pretty sure if he pulled them, he might be able to leverage this army into a win.
So he is going to take that later third. The Raven's going to be out. There are Zealots prepped to try to run in here for a counterattack, but there are also Widow Mines laid to basically catch and exactly kill, at least what we saw earlier, what Protoss has. Terran going to get a little bit closer here. This really does make you appreciate the windy geography of the map and the fact that it's not a beeline that you could make over there, not unless you kill those rocks.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised that it's not going to be that 2-base push that we kind of saw Maru do in game number 1 today.
Yeah.
Looking at the army supply, 74 to 59, and keep in mind, Zoun has, I think, 6 Phoenixes, so 12 of that army supply is an air, and he is just now starting Storm. To this point, he has no splash damage, just Gateway units.
It is funny, right? Because it almost feels like, you know, I never want to say that you should always all in certain moments, but after seeing what Maru did, I'm like, yeah, you should always all in there, man.
And this one, it kind of feels like you should, and GuMiho's going to scan this, and he has a really powerful army, and oh, that's a huge shot there by the Raven, just obliterating the armor here on these Zealots, and Zoun's going to have to sacrifice this base. Just kind of caught with his pants down there.
Yeah.
That Shredder missile just, oh, he gets the second one.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, he just might be able to tear through.
Storm at 80% done now, still a couple of seconds away.
Can he get the Nexus maybe before it's done?
He might be able to, man.
Even then, I don't know if there's going to be enough. Well, he's going to go for that Nexus right now, and it's going to finish. The second Storm is done. He's done the damage he needed to do. He can back out. He can walk away.
This is what I was talking about. Like, if he was to go for like a 2-base push, like, Zoun's dead, man.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, he kind of did. I mean, there was a third CC that was made back there, but I mean, this is all he needed to do. And you know, it's funny. It could not have been more down to the millisecond. He killed that Nexus, and a second later Storm finished, but Terran was already on his way out.
Wouldn't mind even getting 2 Phoenixes there, and now Zoun double expanding to take his natural and his third is kind of a feels bad man moment.
Well, I mean, I would put it like this. I think Zoun's been rocked. He's up against the ropes. I think the next knockout punch is inbound here from GuMiho. Even the counterattacks, he's just bleeding off units. These Zealots aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, previous counterattack was pretty good, but it doesn't, like, there's nothing you can really do to match losing 2 Nexi.
No, I mean, this is just really bad right now. He comes in, another big Psy Storm.
Not bad Storms. Storms are the one path forward here for Zoun, and even that, it's a long road ahead as the army supplies right now almost double in favor of GuMiho. Zoun still waiting for those 2 Nexi to pop. There's almost no eco. And Ghosts are on the way. GuMiho's in control of this, man. We're seeing Terrans just completely outclass Protoss today.
Yeah, I mean, Terrans are crushing right now. And so we're likely to have a GuMiho Maru match next.
Looks like it.
Now, he hasn't killed it off yet. I think the thing you got to be scared about right now is that he could hit the third, or if the Phoenixes aren't ready to catch this, he just picks up and goes into the main. And nothing that Protoss has right now gets to the main unless he recalls. But if he recalls, you pick back up and go out. You know, so it's there's not an endless you know, solution for Protoss with trying to play the positional game. You can basically exhaust them and then take it from there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of the reason why we kept seeing Zoun go back and like producing another Phoenix here and there. Is wants to have some Phoenix talent live because he doesn't have any Blink Stalkers right now. It's just these Charge Zealots and the Storms, but he keeps losing the Phoenixes to Widow Mines. And while the Storms have been good, he has maybe 2 more in the bank. And once these Ghosts arrive, he might not even have that. It's looking really scary here for Zoun. GuMiho's just gonna push him.
Yeah, GuMiho's going for it. Now, maybe GuMiho does oh, no, I think he just has too much.
I don't think it's possible
I don't
for
think
him
it's
to
possible,
overextend with this army.
As long as every storm doesn't kill everything, and that's already not happened. This is going to be GG, man. We got a TVT coming up next.
We do.
So many storms here, but
Those
just too much.
storms were fantastic, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be it. GuMiho takes the second series of the night as both our Terra players win 2-0 in kind of a Groundhog Day fashion. Like every single match, the Protoss went for Phoenixes, and every single match, like one big push killed him.
These guys got to modernize their play, man. I want to see more stuff like what Hero's doing. GuMiho took care of that very easily. Didn't even try to all in like Maru, just sort of let the game play out, knowing that, you know.
I mean, we have like God's eye view as casters and viewers, right? Where we can just look at it, we can look at the setup on the map and be like, oh, well, if GuMiho just goes for a 2-base solo and pulls his SCV, the game's over.
Right.
GuMiho doesn't have that intel. He can't make that call in the booth.
Right.
But even with like a delayed push, like he made a third CC, he took him a much longer time to actually go into the third base there. It didn't matter. He just killed 2 Nexi, like straight away.
Guys, we're going to go to a break. We come back. The winner's match at TVT with GuMiho versus Maru.